30 years old and I work a full-time job. 4 years ago, I had Penelope, my beautiful angelic daughter, with my husband Dylan, and we are living happily. We both work, and Penelope goes to daycare during the day, so I work, do housework, and raise my daughter. Every day is super busy, but Dylan is very supportive of these things. Dylan, thank you for always helping me with housework. That makes a lot of difference to my daily life.
That breaks my heart a little.
What? Why?
I'm not particularly helping you. We both work during the day, and Penelope belongs to both of us. It's only natural to do the housework and raise my daughter for my family and myself. It's not help, but my responsibility.
Okay, that makes sense.
My work isn't perfect, so I may look like just helping to you though.
No, not at all. You clean and do the laundry carefully and to perfection. And you pick up Penelope and run errands too.
That's right, Mom! We're living in an era where dual income and gender equality are the norm. The concept of helping or getting help is outdated. If someone helps with the housework, it's probably not much has been done. Taking out the trash that was already put by the door, and they say, I take out the trash, or taking a bath with a child and saying, I'm a cool dad, is a joke. In that sense, Dad is 100% a super dad.
She's right. It's only normal to do those things because we're a family.
You guys are right. By the way, Penelope is getting smarter every day. They educate me daily. But when I met Dylan, he was more old-fashioned with outdated notions, much more on the male dominant side. He was born into a household where male dominance was normal, and that was common in the region. I didn't like and agree with unreasonable things, and I believed in equality and justice, so we conflicted a lot and fought many times. But we started seeing each other in the course of it. Now he is a totally 21st century man, and he's much more gender equality conscious than me. One night we were having dinner when the doorbell rang. Who could it be at this hour? I checked the intercom monitor and saw Catherine, my mother-in-law, there. Huh? Catherine? What happened? When I opened the door, she came in with a large luggage. Oh, I'm so tired. Here you go. She pushed her bags at me and invited herself in. Dylan followed me out of the living room and was stunned by the sight.
Mom? What are you doing here?
His parents' house is in the countryside, which is a good 3 hours by train ride away from my house. She's never showed up unannounced before. Catherine made herself comfortable on the sofa and started talking. Paige, why don't you serve me tea or something? Your mother-in-law's here. You don't think of anything, do you? Grr, she always does this to me and I hate it. That's why I don't want to be near their house. She believes in the idea that the wife should be home and support her husband, and she doesn't like me working outside despite the fact that I have a small child. She also loves bullying me and would say mean and sarcastic remarks every chance she gets. Can't you say hello before demanding tea? Dylan saw me upset and quickly served her the tea. Oh, do you allow your husband to make tea for the guest, Paige? Do you consider yourself a wife? She gave me a cold stare and said, Why do husbands and wives have to do certain things? And why does it make any difference who serves the tea?
Mom. Anyway, what brought you here suddenly?
She then started talking. I left my home. I'm not going back. I'm moving in here. Huh? It came to me like a bolt in the blue. What is she saying? Excuse me, wait a minute. You can't decide something like that by yourself. We have our life here. She totally ignored what I said. I'll share Penelope's room for a while. Oh, I'm hungry, Paige. What do you have for dinner? I want my dinner now. Dylan and I didn't know what to say. She acted like a queen. Then Penelope, who was quiet up until this point, opened her mouth.
Grandma, are you gonna live with us? Do you want to share my room?
Hi, Penelope. Oh, you've grown up again. That's right. We'll live together from now on. She's mean to me, but so sweet to Penelope.
Really? Then I'll have to rework our household chore schedule. And if you use my room, there are some rules you have to follow. I have my privacy too.
The household chore schedule she's talking about is like our family rulebook. We take turns doing chores monthly. Penelope collects the trash and folds the laundry. Privacy and chores? She doesn't seem to get it.
Yeah, if you become a member of this family, you don't work, you don't eat.
Oh, Penelope's the cleverest girl in her daycare. You've got to be kidding me, Penelope. Grandma is the mother of your dad, who is the head of the household, so I'm the most respectable one in this house. Oh no, Paige, what are you teaching my grandchild? I'll have to re-educate her, don't I? I'm excited. She looked so happy and was 100% ready to bully me, but I'm not the kind who just gives in and is belittled. I was always mentally tough. But Dylan looked uncomfortable seeing my fighting spirit.
We don't have dinner for Mom tonight, so I'll take you to the casual restaurant in the neighborhood.
And he took her out. And I immediately called Dylan's sister-in-law, Susan, who lives in Catherine's house. Susan, Mother just showed up at our house and said she's moving in with us. Oh, I'm sorry, Paige. What happened was... According to Susan, she was fed up with Catherine's bullying and told everything Catherine did and said to her husband and father-in-law. She said she was going to divorce unless Catherine would change. Susan was a quiet and submissive type, so she must have endured so much. When we visited my in-laws last Thanksgiving, we saw Catherine treat Susan like a maid and we expressed our objections. As a consequence, Catherine was blamed for her behavior by her husband and son and left the house and came here. Oh no, she was kicked out of the house for bullying her daughter-in-law, but that hasn't changed a bit. I tried everything. You may be able to handle her better. My husband and my father-in-law are saying the same thing. You can try out your way. Thank you. Wait, so you're just pushing her onto me? Even so, I feel that your husband and my father-in-law, who allowed her to bully us all she wanted, are a little accountable. Yeah, for that, I'm going to Hawaii for a month to make up for it. My husband says I can buy anything I want, and now that Bully Witch is gone, I need the rest of my body and soul. I'll get something for you, too. Well, at least she's off the hook. I guess it's my turn now. Dylan and Catherine came back after a while. She was in a good mood now. I love the city. The eatery is within walking distance and there are enough stores. I love it here. No way, she's totally planning to live here. Paige, the tea! For two! For Dylan and me! Huh? I thought Dylan was trying to straighten her out, but she's his weakness. Catherine, let me tell you something. I'm not your slave, nor Dylan's maid. In this household, you do things for yourself. What are you talking about? It's tradition that the wife stands 3 steps behind a husband and obeys him. And I, who's the mother of your husband, stands way ahead from you two. I'm the highest in this household. You must acknowledge this fact, Dylan. You haven't taught her anything yet.
We're living in a different time.
Shut up! You're the head of the household. You have to take the helm. And he couldn't say anything to her anymore. Oh, no. Catherine, do you realize what you're singing? The head of the household, obey the husband. What century are you living in? Were you born in the 19th century? I snorted and laughed, and then she couldn't say anything. Anyway, you're here, so you could stay for a while, but if you eat here, you'll pay and do the chores too. I made myself clear. What kind of wife are you? See, if you think things will go your way, you're very wrong. Mother-in-law or whatever, since you're here, you'll obey the rules here. At this moment, our battle began. She didn't like Dylan doing the chores and complained every time. Paige, what are you thinking letting Dylan do the laundry, letting the man do the housework? But I won't give in easily. It's normal in this house. A man who can't do any housework is useless these days. If you don't want him to do it, you can do it instead. And she ended up in charge of the laundry since then. She also complained about the quick dinner I made after coming in from work. Paige! You feed your family frozen food? What are you thinking, cutting corners and serving a dinner like this? A wife is supposed to consider the family's health. Not everything is frozen food, and I think about the nutritional balance too. But I have a full-time job, so I make it fast and delicious using some frozen food for a weekday meal. Frozen food these days is highly sought after and of higher quality. They are a great help for busy people like us. If you don't want to eat frozen food, you can cook instead. And again, she ended up in charge of making dinner after that. But she never forgot about bullying the daughter-in-law. Oh, sorry, I thought you'd come home late, so I didn't prepare dinner for you.
Blame evil.
Don't worry about it, I'll eat frozen pizza. I feel like beer. I love the combination of beer and pizza.
Mom, I want pizza too!
Sounds good. I feel like it too.
Hey, wait a minute, I made dinner for you! My family's on my side. You should know better. Oh, and she said this when she met a nursery teacher at Penelope's daycare. I couldn't believe that Penelope's nursery teacher was a man. You have to ask for a female nursery teacher for my grandchild. What? That's discrimination. You said a man works outside and a woman stays at home. Why is a female nursery teacher okay to work outside and a male nursery teacher working outside is not okay? Because childcare is women's work.
Grandma, you're so old-fashioned. There are many male nursery teachers and male nurses these days. I like my male nursery teacher a lot.
Are you sure?
Grandma, you don't make sense at all. That's because you're living in your own world and don't see outside. You don't know that, do you?
Catherine looked surprised and shocked a little, but from this point on, there was a gradual change seen in her. She wouldn't listen to me no matter what I said, but if Penelope said the same kind of thing, she listened. She complained about everything I did, but I never gave in and talked back to her each time. And in time, she looked tired of the argument. She started to listen to me a little. Paige, you're always looking at your phone. If you've time to do that, do more housework or childcare. Huh? We get all the information about housework, chores, and childcare from smartphones. It's the norm these days. See? There are tons of tips about childcare and cooking recipes. Oh, really? This is good. She never had a smartphone, so I suggested. You're still using a flip phone. Why don't you get a smartphone? What? I'm not sure if I could use it. I wouldn't worry about it. There are many smartphone seminars for seniors available if you'd like. Are there? Then there, Catherine made her smartphone debut. Now she's into watching YouTube from recipes to dramas. Also, she made friends at the smartphone seminar and went out with them. She seems to be having fun every day. A few weeks passed. I didn't have to rush to make dinner anymore when I came home because of Catherine, so we took time to have dinner together. One day...
You got promoted again, Paige? You're great! You're making twice as much as mine.
That's right. I am actually great at what I do. Oh, really? You're making more than Dylan? Catherine learned about my work for the first time and looked astonished.
Yep, she's really good and a great asset to her company.
Thank you, Dylan. I'm flattered. Wow, really? Some women are making that much money? In my time, there were no women like that. I didn't know you were that good. So I said to her, Catherine, the reason why I can do my work better is because of Dylan and Penelope. If I do the housework and childcare all by myself, I could never be into my work like now. Plus, you help out a lot lately, so I can spend more time with my family, and it's just a win-win. So thank you for that, Catherine. When she heard my words, she had tears in her eyes. Oh, Paige, nobody ever said that to me. I'm sorry to have been mean to you. Dylan and I were stunned by this development. Catherine?
Mom!
I know this. They say even a devil may cry. Penelope!
I felt that you and Susan took my boys away from me, so I hated you too. And when I was young, all the wives were bullied and treated so badly, and that was normal in my time, so I was jealous of young people in this era. They looked so happy. But even though I was so mean to you, they taught me many things, and you even thanked me. Indeed, even a devil may cry. Catherine, you can stop crying now. You'll make me cry. I had never imagined that my evil mother-in-law and I would come to understand each other. Seeing her cry made me cry.
You two, cut it out!
So did Dylan.
Grandma made Mom and Dad cry. Leave them alone. Well, they say April showers bring May flowers.
Oh, sorry, Penelope. Let's get back to our dinner before the food gets cold. And we continued our dinner with an extra flavor of salt. A few days later, Catherine went back home to apologize to Susan, who was back from Hawaii. We told her that she could stay a little longer, but I want to apologize to Susan after how I treated her. I don't want to wait for this, so I'm going. And I may suit the countryside more. I miss my egoistic husband as well when I haven't seen him for a while.
I understand. You're welcome to come back here anytime. Grandma, we can share my bed again.
Thank you, Paige and Penelope. And Dylan, you'll take care of your wife and daughter. And she left. Susan was skeptical of Catherine's apologies at first, but seeing her completely transformed into a kind and caring mother-in-law, her feelings towards Catherine gradually softened. I kept in touch with Susan, and they seemed to be doing okay. Oh, and Susan did the shopping for a lifetime in Hawaii. And her father-in-law and husband are gonna have a hard time repaying it. She also bought me a fine watch. The cost to these men for ignoring the suffering of their wives and daughter-in-laws and for not stopping Catherine for tormenting Susan was high. In my family, we decided to visit them this summer. In the past, I was stressed and depressed when I thought about Catherine. But this time she asked me to retrain my father-in-law and brother-in-law like I did to her. We're in demand. Paige, it was amazing. My husband asked me how to use the washing machine today. He never touched it for 40 years of our marriage. Also, my son served tea to me. It was unbelievable. That's a reflection of the training. Dylan and Penelope were more into the training course than I was. They even prepared the study materials. Now Susan and I are more relaxed at home. Thank you, Paige.
No, Dylan and Penelope should get credit for that.
By the way, Paige, I'm thinking of starting an Instagram and other social media.
Really? Are you serious?
Nobody was doing these things in my area, but I noticed that many people in my generation are doing it. I'd like to try out a new thing.
That's a great idea. You can ask me anything if you have questions. Grandma, you're so cool. I'll tell all my friends about you. My grandma can use a smartphone.
I'll try not to let you down, Penelope.
Way to go, Catherine! Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!